So in the nape, the head position is down. But you're going to see that most of my lengths in my perimeter are going to drop out until I get to my occipital area. So in this case, I can be able to have my hand position pointing down, and we're still going to follow that uniform pattern: comb, fingers, pull, palm, cut. Relaxing just slightly. I'm also using the wide tooth comb so I don't put too much tension versus the fine teeth. So I'm just having moderate tension. See how you still see some wrinkles of the curl pattern versus taut tension in the straight hair. Again, I'm going to take half of my old, half of my new, and I'm going to keep that organized. And I'm just going to walk all the way up. So there's my guide. Half of my old, half of my new. Keep it at 90 degrees. So just make sure that you don't allow yourself to lose your guide by still taking small sections at a time. The beauty of curly hair, you can really see the shape. After I finish this top of the section, you're going to see the round shape that you're creating. So you see that arc? That's the roundness from the uniform.
You start from the bottom, right?
Start from the bottom in this case and work our way up. The length is my guide for my perimeter. If you establish a perimeter blunt length, and in many cases this is just a longer variation versus you went fairly short because of what was established from our long layers previously. We're using the guideline from a perimeter length in the blunt cut. So I'm going to work my way around the head in the same fashion, where I'm going to take half of my old, half of my new, still pivotal partings. So I just isolated that section, still same point of origin from the top of the head, and I'm going to clip this out of the way for control. It's good to just put the clips facing up versus twisting so it stays out of your way. And again, taking half of my old section that I just cut, so I have a new working area. So again, to isolate this, because this curly hair is dry, it can get in your way if you're not careful. Just having those two clips facing up. So now, again, starting from the bottom, I can be able to create my design line. So I'm going to clip this top of my subsection out of the way as well. So now I have my working area in the nape. The working area will really start, because that perimeter guide will drop out. That's for my blunt cut initially. So my occipital area is where I can still have my finger pointing down versus below the nape, we would have it pointing up. But since that's already cut, I don't need to worry about that. So again, I have a guide from my previous here and my previous here. 90. Just make sure don't put too much tension, it's just moderate tension. Half of my old, half of my new. Isolate the section. Keep control. Do not pull too hard. Half of my old, half of my new. And I use clips to part, I can use my fingers to part, I can use the comb to part, as long as you keep it clean. Half of my old, drop that out, and I keep that in my hand to be able to part out my new subsection. If it's not in your way, fine. I like to be able to keep it clipped out of my way so it doesn't fall due to gravity. Half of my old, half of my new. And that's such a large section. I'm just going to take two sections, grab half of my old, and take half of my new. Have my working area. Once you establish two of the subsections, so you have a really concrete design line, whether you go from the top or the bottom, it doesn't make a difference because this is your guideline. So I needed to start from the bottom initially because my only guide was the perimeter length. Now I have an interior guide as well. So whether I go top to bottom using referencing this length or bottom to top, I can continue that pattern all the way down. So, and I'm going to be able to show you how you'll be able to go